Hey guys, Lisa Hyper. I've been talking about her mental illness. She was on a program about 11 hours ago and she didn't get a chance to properly explain what she's going through with this mental illness because there was another person on the live who kept cursing her and just degrading her and demeaning her. And then, of course, she defended herself, and it was a cuss fest going back and forth. And even she said, we could have been talking about so many other things instead of us going through this. But it was very contentious, and she never got to really get into the heart of what's going on with her. But she just put out a statement that for those who are self medicating, to look into prescription medication. What she was alluding to is that they should really, self medication is okay, but it's a start. And if they really want proper help, they need to seek a psych doctor to get the proper medication prescribed. And what she's on, she said, may not be good for the next person. So don't think because somebody else is on X, you're going to take X and self medicate. You need to go to a doctor so that they can put you on the right medication. And that's about all she said because the other person just kept interrupting her, not allowing her to properly explain about mental illness, what she's going through, the medications, etc., and all the help that's out there for people. Because, guys, we know that mental illness is still stigmatized in the Black community. And so when we find someone like Lisa Hyper willing to talk about it, it's a good thing that she is someone who is in the limelight, can really educate some people who feels it's wrong to take medication and they're going to self-medicate and do things the old way. Another thing she said was that when you self-medicate, oftentimes there are side effects and you may have side effects that you don't need to have because remember all these medications come with side effects. And if you get on the right medication, maybe you won't be going through those side effects if you get on the right dose and the right medication. But here's a little bit of what she said before she was so rudely interrupted.
And next thing, I'll be opening, I'll be doing a foundation for mental illness patients. So you can look out for that. It named the Power Mental Health Foundation. So that is coming 2023. Just stay strong, and if you need to take the medication, take the medication. You understand? To all the people them with on the life, we know we can self-medicate ourselves, but self-medicating ourselves is either we make we end antisocial, want to go out with your friend them, not even want to have sex, trust nobody, it make you paranoid, all of that. You understand what I say? That's how we come with self-medication. Yeah. Because one, me not trust nobody. Not even my own father, me not trust. That's bad. You understand what I say? I can't tell when I go out with my friend them. Every time my friend them ask me for go out, I give them an excuse. Because me antisocial bad. I can't live in a matches box. You understand what I say?
Okay, guys, after that, it went completely left. And so she didn't really get to state all that she wanted to say about mental illness. But it's a very important topic, especially in the Black community, because we don't like to talk about it. We don't like to deal with it. There's so many people in our community who suffer from mental illness, but they have not been diagnosed because they refuse to acknowledge that they have mental illness issues. So she said her issue is depression and she doesn't trust anyone, not even her own father. And she said she has isolated herself to the point where she can live in a matchbox, a very small space away from everybody else. And it's very true for a lot of people. that in this society, this COVID environment, it gave a lot of people with mental illness an excuse to stay away from other people, stay away from family and friends. It's the ideal setting for mental illness to thrive. So thank you, Lisa Hyper, for attempting to address the problem in our community. She said she's starting a foundation, launching a project this year concerning mental illness. And good luck with that, Lisa Hyper. It's a good thing. And if we don't know anyone in our immediate family and friends who have mental illness, we don't have far to go, because we can put on the television and we can see so many people who are on these reality shows that have mental illness. Either they or their children have it to varying degrees, because we know mental illness, there's a spectrum. You can either to the left or to the right being severe, the left least severe. And guys, just know if you have a mood disorder, that's considered mental illness. So it can be very mild and it can be very severe, like schizophrenia. Now, you may feel as though, okay, you're happy 1 minute, because we've seen that on television and in our families, right? Happy 1 minute, sad the next. 1 minute, the person is okay with you, the next minute they're cussing you out. That is a sign of mental illness. And based on WebMD's diagnosis of mental illness, the signs of mental illness, I think we all fall under some type of mental illness category, because this is what it says. One sign is depression, because you know when you're depressed, you don't want to do a lot of things. You may not want to take a shower, brush your teeth, associate with others, etc. Anxiety. If you're feeling anxious and it's constant, you're always anxious around people, you don't want to go out. If you attempt to go out, you feel as though the world is going to come to an end. Your world will collapse. There's something out there, the big bad wolf. That's a sign. Bipolar disorder, there's a spectrum with that, from mild to severe. There's a whole lot of other disorders that come under the umbrella of mental illness. And so in today's society, we are all categorized in some way, whether you have mental illness or you don't have mental illness, or you, because they have to have a group that is perceived as normal in order for them to know what the abnormal would be. So we're all under some type of mental illness umbrella. So I don't want you guys to feel as though there's something wrong with you if you have any of the above, because we all have something, all right, whether you like to believe it or not. But the important thing is not to let people feel as though there's something wrong with them because they have some form of mental illness. As in Lisa Hyper's case, she went on that program and they were, I guess, talking maybe about mental illness, and she clicked on to join the live, and she was turned on by one of the people who were talking, which I thought was so wrong. And she was calling her out of her name. I wasn't sure whether it was a man or a woman because the voice was so deep. I could not properly discern whether it was male or female, and no pictures were shown, and the person's face was not on the live. It was such an important conversation, and the person who was really going after her missed an opportunity to learn a little more about mental illness. As a matter of fact, because he went after her so hard, I would say that he has mental illness, okay? He really did not give her an opportunity to break it down. From her perspective, he just kept telling her that there's something wrong with her and she should not go around being angry because she's not serving a purpose doing that. But that's all part of the mental illness. She was telling that person from her perspective, and that person was attacking her and trying to tell her that she shouldn't feel that way, the way she's feeling. But when you have mental illness, People cannot dictate how you're going to feel and how you're not going to feel. That's why she's taking the medication, so she can be better. But that person, because they're not aware of how mental illness works, you can't just turn it off. Because remember, it has to do with the chemistry in the brain. But this individual missed the point. The point is you can't turn it off because it's a brain chemistry imbalance. It's on a cellular level. And all the little fluids and liquids that's running around in the brain, and all the synapses and the dendrites and all that stuff that's in the brain that causes this electrical conductivity in the brain. You can't turn that off. It is what it is. If there's a chemical imbalance, you need to fix it. If you got one finger broken, you fix that. If you got a foot broken, you fix that. If you got brain activity that's not functioning correctly, you fix that. Gone are the days when people were put in asylums and locked away for life and put in straight jackets, all because they act differently from the norm. But in today's society, if you find your behavior is peculiar and people are telling you to check yourself out, go check yourself out. Maybe they're seeing something you're not seeing and you recognize that something is wrong. Then there's medication to correct that. So my point is, you don't have to be ashamed of what's going on with you. So thank you, Lisa Hyper, for opening up the conversation. You didn't get to delve deeply into what you wanted to say. However, I'm sure it was able to help someone out there who was not taking medication to realize they really need to see a doctor and have some type of prescription medication in place, just in case there are days that they fall short of performing normally. Because we know that severe depression can lead to suicide. A lot of people commit suicide because they're so depressed and it's quiet. They don't tell anybody. They put on this exterior of being happy. Look what happened to Twitchy Boss, the DJ for Ellen DeGeneres show. Recently, he committed suicide. The day before he killed himself, allegedly, he was very happy. He put out a video with his wife dancing. They had just celebrated their wedding anniversary. And the next day he went to a hotel and ended his life. Shot himself in the head. Depression is real, folks. If you or anyone is suffering from depression or any type of mental illness, go seek help. See your doctor, go to the clinic, go to the hospital, reach out and get help for yourself before it's too late. YouTubers, I'm over now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and to this video. Thank you for watching.